Wolfchase Toyota Insider on the Memphis Tiger Network. I'm Jeff Brightwell alongside Natalie Poole, women's softball coach at the University of Memphis. And Coach, last week, kind of a rough week for the team, but you did pick up a really nice win over the weekend against one of the perennial powers when we were in Conference USA, and now they've carried it on to the American in Houston. But overall, kind of recap the week for us.
Well, we started with UT Martin. UT Martin always brings a really good offensive team. Right now they're sitting a little bit better than us statistically, and so we anticipated it to be a tough game. And while I think we had opportunities, we missed those opportunities to be able to score, and it was a close ball game. We lost 2-0, but I definitely feel like we came out ready to play. We just didn't score the runs when we needed to.
It's tough to play schools like that because they always get geared up to play one of the bigger schools, come to the big city and play that game.
They do, and every game that we've played since I've been here has been a real close ball game. Last year we beat them, but it was a close ball game. And I'm in the same as years past. So it's always a good midweek competition for us. It's not a team that, that statistically is not doing well. It does push us to rise to the occasion and play good ball.
And you take a look at the OVC, not just Martin, but some of the other teams you play. I know SEMO usually has a pretty solid team. Mm-hmm. They're not a bad mid-major league.
Absolutely not. I would say that, they're one of the better teams that we would face here in the state. Don Canary, the coach there, has been there for some time, and so while if we don't play good, we're going to get beat, and that's just the way it's going to be, and that's what happened. I think that we just didn't do enough to be able to score the runs. However, we kept the run score down, and I thought that we pitched well.
Coach, let's move along to Houston. The series lost that series 2-1. You got the nice win on Sunday. Their first conference loss. Going back to Saturday, had them in extra innings that first game. They just put up a big inning late in the extra innings.
They did. I thought that we stayed in the ball game. Ellen pitched a great game. And we had multiple opportunities to try to make it happen, and we just didn't. And so, while the run score doesn't look like what the game really looked like, to get into an extra innings ball game is probably the best that we've played them since I started here at Memphis. And so I think one of our seniors was talking about the last time she beat them was maybe when she was a freshman. And so we've kind of struggled against them. So it was definitely nice to be in the ball game. It was a good fight, a good battle. It was a long game for us, and which sometimes hurts going into that second game.
Well, and you get that close, and they put the beginning, it kind of carries over. We talked last week about how softball is such a momentum sport, especially when you play a tight game in a doubleheader.
It really is. And Ellen threw a great game. She was, somewhat fatigued, and we were hitting a part of the lineup that, that had hit her pretty decent. Bases were loaded. And I put a freshman in who had some fresh legs. We thought that she would come out and give us the best chance to maybe get kind of out of a crunch. And even if she gave up 1 run or 2 runs, that I felt like we could still be in the ball game. However, it just didn't work out the way. It just opened up, and unfortunately they scored too many runs. And so, the great thing about that is that the same kid who struggled the first day comes out the second day, and Ellen threw a portion of the game, kept us in it, and then we made the change to go to her to some fresher legs again, and she did a good job for us and kept us in the ball game and enabled us to get the win.
Well, that was a big one. That's their first conference loss of the year, and it was good for your team to bounce back.
Absolutely, and they're a top 25 team. We're right teeter-tottering at RPI, right there on that borderline, and they've beat Texas A&M, they beat Baylor, they've beat Texas, they've beat every big school in Texas, and they've done well this entire year. They have a good pitching staff as well as good offensive players. She's been there for some time and has established a good, reputable program, and so for us to be able to win, I felt like we were in it, we played strong, and we did what we needed to do. I felt like we hit their pitching well. I was really impressed with how we, had a good presence at the plate this weekend, and we swung the stick pretty good, and we went through all 3 of their pitchers in the first day as well as the second day.
Coach, just in time for the next cold spell, which does not seem to be going away at all this year. As soon as it gets warm, another little cold front just rears its ugly head one more time, and he'll go up to New Jersey, back up to the Northeast to play Rutgers this weekend.
Absolutely. I always feel like when we went to UConn, it got cold here in the midweek, just maybe to prepare us for the weekend, but we do. Tonight we play Mississippi Valley State at 5 o'clock, and it's going to be some cool weather. It's a single game, however. And then on Thursday we head up to New Jersey. It's our first time up there, and will be our only time up there. But we definitely need to go out there this weekend and pick up some wins on the road.
What do you know about Rutgers? I know this year they've shown some signs of being really good. They've also taken maybe some tough losses, kind of an up and down team this year.
They have been. Whenever they took one from Louisville early on, I thought, okay, this is going to be a team to contend with, and so I think they've had their ups and downs. Temple took 2 from them this weekend, when we took 2 from Temple. And so, I think that, it's going to be an interesting battle. I think it's going to be a battle of being aggressive and who's going to show up and get it done. And I think that if we do that, if we don't make our own selves the enemy but allow them to be our enemy, I think we're going to be fine. But sometimes we beat ourselves, which is a bit frustrating.
Then you come back home next week for your midweek game. Wednesday, you'll face Alcorn State.
We do. We play Alcorn here at home, and then on the weekend we go to South Florida. So we have a couple road trip weekends, but it's nice to be here during the midweek.
Well, at least you get through the cold weekend and have a nice one, then you can have a nice one down in the Florida sun again.
Yes, that sounds good.
All right, thanks a lot, Coach.
Thank you.
That is Natalie Poole. I'm Jeff Brightwell. This is the Wolfchase Toyota Insider on the Memphis Tiger Network.